Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes and find your breath. Begin your Ujjayi breathing. Breathing in and out through your nose. Draw the breath in with the muscles of your throat. Slowing down that breath and slowing the mind as you slow down the breath so that you start to get these glimpses of just silence, right? These glimpses of nothingness happening in between the thoughts, in between the busyness. Settle into the silence, right, of that longer, deeper inhale, more complete exhale. Silence between the moments of busyness. And start to draw those moments out until it feels like you can settle in. What I found is the more you slow down your breath, the longer those periods of silence are. And there's a direct correlation, right? So the more effort, the physical effort we put behind the breath, the more likely we're going to actually experience yoga. Experience that settling into silence, settling the mind into silence. Let's bring the arms down now alongside your torso. Go ahead and open your eyes. Sweep the arms up alongside your ears. Take a long in-breath. Exhale, bring your hands down to your thighs, round your back and engage your abdominals. Inhale, extend the spine. And exhale, round your back. Last time, inhale, find your extension. Exhale, round and roll all the way up to standing. Sweep the arms overhead and take a long inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come down to the ground, to your thighs, round the back, engage your abs. This time, hold empty the Uddiyana Bandha. So just really feel like you're vacuuming your internal organs toward the front of your spine. Then take an inhale, extend. Exhale through the mouth if you'd like to, just to help your diaphragm get out of the way. Round your back and hold empty. And one more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Exhaling through the mouth if you'd like. Hold empty for as long as you can with Uddiyana Bandha. And release that, take your inhale. As you exhale, roll up slowly. Sweep the arms overhead, take a little inhale. And exhale, hands back to heart center. Good, again, inhale, reach up, get a little taller, pull yourself apart. Exhale, hands to thighs, round the back. This time we're gonna hold empty and find Uddiyana Bandha followed by Abhisara, which is that abdominal massage, right, where we're drawing the navel in and up, in and up, in and up, as many times as you can while empty. When you need to take another inhale, inhale, extend, and exhale, round again. Hold empty and take that churning. In and up, release, in and up, release, in and up, release. It's not your back that's moving, it's your belly. And think about massaging all of those internal organs. And last time, inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Churn up your inner space, right? Churning it up. You can go fast or slow. You can go more to the left or to the right. You're moving to the left and right. Make sure you're not moving your hips left and right. It's just that internal movement left and right. And when you need to, take another inhale here. Exhale, round the back, roll all the way up to standing. Arms rising, chest opening. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, let's move on now to A series. Reaching up. Exhale, dive forward. Bringing your weight forward so that your hips stay over your heels as you dive. Hold in. Inhale to a flat back. Plant your palms, jump back or walk back. Take an exhale, stay right here in plank position. Right here in high push-up. Inhale into the back of your body. As you exhale, draw the belly button in and up toward the spine. Again, inhale into the back. Exhale from the front, getting the front ribs toward each other, pushing the sit bones toward your heels and reaching the heels toward the back wall. Last breath here in high plank. And one more exhale. At the end of the exhale, lower to chaturanga. Inhale into an up dog. Exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. And in down dog. Bend one knee at a time, so let's bend the left knee or the right knee, whichever. And then slowly straighten out that leg and bend the opposite leg. As you're bending one knee at a time, bring the same side body to that leg. So left rib to left thigh, right rib to right thigh. So we're pushing through the palms as well to help us get there. Keep your breathing long and deep and make sure that you're using your breath to support your pose. After you've done 3 or 4 rounds of that walking out, go ahead and straighten out your legs. Take a final round of breath here. And at the end of this next exhale, engage in Yanabandha. Jump your feet or walk your feet back to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold, crown toward the ground. Root down, rise up slowly, sweep the arms overhead and take an inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do another one of those. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive. Again, it's like you're pulling your torso forward. Rather than hinging back behind you or laying into the knees, really take it forward. Take an in-breath, extend. Plant the palms, jump back or walk back. This time, go right into chaturanga on your exhale. Inhale, up dog. Let's hold up dog today. And if up dog feels like it's too much, come onto your thighs and take a low over. And in either position, you want to make sure that the sit bones are drawing back towards your heels. Your feet can be wider than your hips. Focus on hugging the back of your spine. Take a final inhale here. Move the heart further forward and stand up onto the pads of your toes and press it back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in and down dog. Strong, long exhale. Now bend both knees, lifting your heels and tilting the pelvis to the side at the same time. Exhale, roll through the soles of your feet and root the heels back down, legs straight. Bend the knees, heels up, tailbone and sit bones stay up. Exhale, roll through the feet, press to down dog, and draw the belly button in and up. One more time, bend the knees, but keep the pelvis tilted to the sky. Exhale, straighten out both legs, slowly rolling through the heels down, toes up if possible. Spread the toes out as well. Take a final breath here. A strong, long exhale. Once you're empty, jump forward or walk forward. Inhale when you land. And exhale, fold. Move down, stay forward as you come up. So you're propelling your body forward as you rise. So again, we're not hinging back into the hips. Sweep the arms overhead, take an inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. And once again, reaching up. Exhale, dive. Lift your heels barely off the floor to make sure that you're not hanging back in those hips and fold in. Inhale, slow extension. Plant the palms again. Exhale, back to chaturanga and all the way down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, we're going to take another push up here and then press back to down dog. And in this down dog, we'll bend both knees at the same time again. Sorry about that. We'll bend both knees, but this time the knees are going to, the sit bones are going to draw down. So we go into a low crouch and then press back to down dog. Lift the heels, but sit bones move toward the heels. And slowly straighten the legs back out. And last time, bend the knees, sit bones toward the heels. Slowly straighten the legs, quadriceps are strong. Take another full breath here. Strong exhale. Hollow out and jump forward or walk forward. Inhale when you land. Exhale, crown to your toes. Now bend your knees, weight into the heels, rise up for Utkatasana. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana. Again, bend the knees, scoot the arms overhead, Utkatasana. And exhale, dive into your standing forward fold. Use your core to pull the ribs in close. One more, bend the knees, arms rising, chest opening, spine extending. And exhale, folding into your forward fold. Slow undulation forward, neck stays neutral. Plant the palms, jump back or walk back. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, lift. And exhale, bring it in. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Press your left heel flat. Claw the floor with your right hand and bring your left arm up for extended right angle pose. If this feels like it's too much, bring your right forearm up to your right thigh. If you want to extend the length of that left side body, extend your left arm over your left ear. Right thigh bone is close to parallel with the floor. Chest is open. So with your right arm where it is, just press if your hand is on the floor. Press lightly into the right inner thigh to keep the right knee tracking forward. Keep rooting down to the inner edge of your right foot at the same time. Take another inhale here. Good. Exhale, left hand back down for a moment. We're going to shift over to the right foot and lift the left sole off the floor. The back of your heel will still be on the floor. We're in a low side lunge. If this is too much, stay on the pads of your right toes and just sit on your right heel with your right sit bone. If possible, you can bring the right heel to the floor and then work the stretch on the left inner thigh. Now, right hand can come down, left arm up, open up. And if you'd like to, you can take a full bound position here, clasping your hands behind your right outer thigh, right glutes basically. Keep the chest opening, make sure that both of your shoulders are opening. As you exhale, engage your upper back on purpose. So even if your right hand's on the floor and left arm is up, decide to get the shoulder blades to move toward each other lightly, but more importantly, draw the shoulder blades down the back dynamically. One final inhale in the side lunge. And place both hands back down to the mat. We're going to come up into a squat position, a wide second plie, basically, bringing your hands to your thighs. Take an inhale here and draw the shoulders down away from your ears. As you exhale, you can either keep your hands on your thighs or, excuse me, or reach back, clasp your hands and draw the knuckles down. Keep breathing. Push down through your heels, pull the knees open. Draw the crown of your head toward the sky. Good. Take a final exhale here, sit down just a little bit deeper. Nice work, and then as you bring your hands back down to the floor, turn your toes toward the left wall. All 10 toes toward the left wall. Left hand under your sternum, inhale, your right arm comes up as we open to the right side. And I'm going to have you drop your left hip down on purpose so that we can once again feel the stretch of the left inner thigh. Breathe, hold and breathe. Make sure you're holding the pose with letting your body breathe. So it's not a rigid hold, right? It's this dynamic shape we're creating with our breath. If you would like to, you can reach around with your right hand and grab your left inner thigh, or just press the back of your hand into the left side of your lower back. Final exhale here, bring it out, maybe give yourself a little adjustment there. And then release both hands back down to the earth, right underneath your shoulders, crown toward the ground, so that your crown touches the ground, if possible. Right, and if the crown isn't touching the ground, you can take your feet out a little wider. If your head is very far away from the floor, don't worry about it. But just imagine and intend that you're reaching your crown into the earth so that you get this feeling of length happening in the cervical vertebrae. If you feel that it's too easy to touch the floor, take your feet closer together, by the way. 2 more breaths. Strong, long exhales. And at the end of this next exhale, really finding Uddiyana Bandha. Walk your hands over to the top of your mat again, and then swivel your toes forward. Step your right foot back to meet your left foot, and move through your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale left knee to left elbow. Inhale with the left leg. Exhale left knee to left elbow slowly. One more time, and lifting and extending. Exhale, bring it in. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Press your right heel flat. Claw the floor with your left fingertips and lift your right arm up for extended right angle. As you hold here, remember that you can come up, you can bring your forearm up to the thigh at any time. And if your hand is on the floor, you can also press the arm lightly into the left inner thigh to make sure the knee isn't collapsing inward. Go down for the outer edge of your right foot, and if you'd like to, you can reach your right arm over your right ear to extend the line of energy from the ankle all the way to the fingertips. Let one more in-breath. Exhale, both hands back to the ground. Shift over to the left heel, lift the right foot up so that you're balancing on the back of your right heel. Again, stand up onto the left toes if you need to. Your weight, the weight of your body is moving down, not over into the left knee, not over into the right leg. But imagine and intend that the entire pelvis is rooting into the earth. Left hand down, right arm up, open the chest. If you'd like to, do that full bound position. Reaching around with the left hand and reaching back behind you with your right hand. Clasping your hands together right behind your left glutes. Meanwhile, your right foot is active. Flex that right foot. Slide the right heel further away from center line if you need a better stretch on your right inner thigh. Take a final round of breath here. Open the chest just a bit more. Exhale, both hands to the ground. We're going to bring it up so that both of the knees are bent back into horse stance, right? Back into that wide second plie. Hands to the thighs. Keep your hands on your thighs if you'd like. Or this time, reach up, clasp your hands together, and press the palms away from the crown of your head. And of course, any other variation is fine here. Draw the sit bones down, lift the rib cage up. Open the knees away from each other and make sure you're breathing. Inhale to expand your ribs out to either side of the room. Exhale to knit the ribs back toward each other and toward the spine. Inhale to lift the entire rib cage up away from the pelvis. And exhale, let the pelvis descend without bringing the ribs with it. One more breath. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. All 10 toes will point toward the right wall. Inhale, extend. And exhale, hold. I'm sorry, we forgot the twist. Right hand down, left arm up. I'm sorry about that. So now the left arm is coming up, the right hip is dropping down, and the spine is extending forward. Right, the side view is not the back around it. Okay, you want to extend the spine. Don't move with this left arm. The left arm is going to follow your torso. You're moving from the right kidney area. So tuck right kidney under left, right ribs under left, right shoulder blade under left, and then you'll notice that the left arm goes with you. Bend the left elbow if you like, reach around and press the back of your hand into the right side of your lower back here. Open up the front of your left shoulder even more. And notice the stretch that's happening on your right inner thigh. Final inhale. Good, exhale, both hands down. Now we'll go into the forward fold.
This time you can take your hands to the outer shins, right above the ankle bones, and then draw the crown down. You can grab your big toes if you'd like. You can clasp your hands at your hips. All of those are, from Ashtanga yoga. And if you want to, you can take any other variation. Maybe clasping your hands behind you and then going down. Crown toward the ground here again. You do want to root the crown into the floor if at all possible. If that's not happening, just reach the crown toward the floor. Feet closer together. If it's already super easy to touch the floor with your head, you want to feel again like you're reaching, decompressing the very top of your spine. Final exhale here. Really engaging through your lower abdominals. And then swivel your hands first forward to the front of your mat. Swivel all 10 toes forward. Step your left foot back to meet your right foot and move for your vinyasa. Up dog on inhale and down dog on your exhale. Please take 5 breaths here. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. But drawing the breath in with your throat. So you're using Ujjayi breath to keep you centered, to keep you from moving into autopilot with your breath, right? Ujjayi breath has a lot of other benefits, but one of the best ones is that we actually have to stay engaged with that breath to stay present. Take another strong exhale, and then jump forward or walk forward. Inhale when you land. Exhale, crown to ground. Soften the neck. Way back into your heels, lift your toes, sweep the arms overhead for Uttanasana. So at this time, dive your ribs to your thighs, sweep the arms behind you, so that your spine is still extended here, the heels are still down and the toes are still up. Sweep forward, so lift the ribs off of the thighs, inhale. Exhale, sweep forward, down and back. Keep the spine extended, thigh bones are parallel with the ground. One more time, inhale, rise. And exhale, place those ribs on the thighs. Take one last inhale here. Now exhale, go into your forward fold. Take an in-breath, extend the torso forward. Jump back or walk back to a high push-up position. Then take your exhale and move to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee to forehead, forehead to knee, round the back. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring it in. And once again, inhale. Exhale, bring it in. Step your right foot through your hands, press your back heel flat. Lay your ribs onto your right thigh and sweep your arms toward the wall behind you, just like we did in Uttanasana a moment ago. But have you turn the palms down, rotate the thumbs out to either side of the room, rotate the shoulder heads open, and notice how that activates your upper back a bit more. Then hug into midline with both inner arms, so your inner triceps are really firing here. So take one more deep in breath. Now reach back toward the wall behind you to come up to warrior one. Inhaling. Holding warrior one. Your chest is rising, your spine is lengthening. Both feet are firmly rooted to the floor. One more breath here. Exhale to twisting warrior. So we're going to bring the left arm forward, the right arm back. Your arms are as parallel with the floor as possible. And you're bringing out from this back hip, so you're going to dial the back hip forward a bit more, left hip going forward more. But then once the hip bones are pointed forward, you're dialing your ribs around. Take a final exhale. Good, inhale back up to warrior one. And exhale, both hands back down to the ground to move through your vinyasa. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, bring your knee to your forehead and round the back. Bend your elbows as well. Inhale, lift. And exhale in. Last time, inhale. Exhale, bring it in. Left foot steps through, back heel presses flat. Left thigh bone parallel with the floor, reach your arms back. Your spine is extending. This time turn the palms face up with the pinky fingers pointed out. Decide to lift the fronts of your shoulders higher. Imagine they're pushing up into the ceiling. So the arms might be a little higher than parallel with the floor, more of a diagonal line in relationship to the floor and the ceiling. So push up until you feel those triceps activating, shoulder heads rising. Now reach back, rise up, warrior one. Allow the spine to feel supported here. Good. Moving through your feet. Feel your legs really supporting you here. Without changing the legs at all, just twist over to your left. Remember, we're trying to get that right hip bone to move just a little further forward, not forcing anything or torquing your knee. Then once the hip bones are basically pointed forward, then the ribs turn to the left. We're cultivating greater range of motion here. It's not going to be a huge twist, not like some that we do. But the longer you stay here, the more you're going to notice, oh yeah, there's a little more give. So on your next exhale, go into that give. Good. Sweep the arms overhead, inhale. Exhale to chaturanga. Stepping the left foot back. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to down dog. 5 more breaths. Please remember to finish each exhalation, finding that emptiness before you take your next in breath. But at the end of this next exhale, we'll jump forward to the front of the mat again. Of course, you can always walk forward. Inhale, extend. And exhale, crown to the earth. Soften your neck, your head, your shoulders. Bend your knees, weight into the heels, rise up, Utkatasana. Exhale, twist over to the left with any variation on the arms that you'd like to take. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, twist over to the right, any variation you'd like to take with the arms. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist. Inhale, rise. And exhale, twist. Good. Last time we're going to inhale into Utkatasana. And now exhale, dive into Uttanasana. Inhale, extend. Plant the palms, jump back or walk back. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale back. Right leg rises on in-breath. Right knee to left elbow now. Inhale up. And exhale, cross and over. Inhale, last time. Exhale, bring it in. Slide your right leg underneath you to the left wall and lift your left arm up. Reach your left arm over your left ear and root down with the sole of your left foot. You can also bend the right knee and place your right shin on the floor instead. Take another deep in breath. Exhale, circle the left arm around and through. Stand up onto the pad with your left toes and keep your right leg where it is. Your hips are a little higher than your shoulders. Full breath in here. And then as you exhale, we're going to squeeze those inner thighs together. And just press the ribs toward the right thigh. Getting a nice stretch on the right outer glute. Root through the left heel if at all possible. Reach the right foot more to the left. Squeeze both inner thighs together. Ribs are moving toward the thighs. One final exhale. And then step your right foot all the way through your hands. Stay up onto the pads of your left toes this time. Excuse me. Take another twist. This is twisting lunge, opening to the right. As your arm opens to the right, you may want to bend the elbow. Again, any variation you want to take, you can also reach your right arm over your right ear. Chest stays open no matter what. Remember that we're not just opening the chest to the right wall. You can if you have the flexibility, if you have the mobility, right? You can work your chest plate open to the sky. And that's fine. Don't force anything on the body, but do explore what you can do in integrity. And then release your right hand down. Straighten out both legs and drape your body over your right leg. Please feel free to keep both hands on the floor here. Oh, let me say this, make sure that your feet are sit bone distance apart. You're not lining your left foot up with your right foot in this way. So feet are lined up with each respective hip. Put down to the inner edge of your right foot. If you feel like you want to go further, reach back and either clasp your left hand to your right elbow and vice versa. Or if you can, move your hands into a prayer position in between the shoulder blades. Forehead to right shin. Abs are working. Lift the elbows up, no matter what position you're in. Lift those elbows up so that the shoulder heads stay lifted as well. Even if your hands are on the ground, bend the elbows and get some activation across the top of the chest. Good, take a final round here, final deep inhale and deep exhale. And then keeping both feet on, both legs straight, rather, left hand will come down. Dial the right sit bone back. Lift your left heel up. For most of us, we're going to need to lift that left heel up. And then twist open for twisting triangle. Keep bringing down to the inner edge of your right foot. Push back to the left foot if you need to. If the knee doesn't feel stable there, root down to the left heel, but step the left foot out to the left a little bit more. And if you want to do the traditional triangle, which is bringing the left hand to the outside of the right foot, just make sure that your alignment is there. That you can breathe deeply and freely. One more breath. Good. Exhale, both hands down, right leg steps back. And continue through your vinyasa here. Down in the chaturanga, then into your up dog, and then into your downward facing dog. Good, left leg will rise, take your in breath. Exhale, reach your left elbow to right, left knee to right elbow. Two more like that, inhale, extend. Exhale, knee underneath you to touch the opposite elbow. One more time. Exhale, touch the two together. Reach your left leg underneath you and lift up, arching away from the floor. Again, we're in a variation on Bajasasana. You can place your left shin to the ground. Keep it forward of your hips so you get that nice stretch through the groin and the left inner hip flexor, inner part of the hip flexor. Your chest is opening rather than collapsing. If you're not feeling your left outer glutes working, engage the left outer glutes, lift the pelvis higher. One more inhale. Exhale, right hand down, keep your left leg where it is. Stand up onto the right toes. Press the hips a little higher and move your ribs toward your thighs. Squeeze both inner thighs together. And then dial the left hip up so that you feel this nice stretch and almost a stabilization of the sacroiliac joint. Stretch on the outer thigh of the left leg, outer glute of the left leg, but also a stabilization of the back of the pelvis. And then step your left foot through. Claw the floor with your right fingertips and open to your twist. As you open, remember you're opening not by lifting your arm or leading with your head, but by leading with your center. Pushing back to the right heel. Pulling the entire pelvis back, bringing out the space between your ribs and your hips. Bend that top elbow, press the back of your hand into the lower back right side, which is going to help you open the chest a little more toward the ceiling if you feel like there's some more mobility there. Again, we're never forcing that on the body, but we're exploring it. Explore the possibility. Final exhale here. Good. Release both hands down, straighten out your legs, step your right foot more to the right and maybe slightly further forward. Drape your body over your left leg. Both legs are straight. Feel free to stay right here with both hands on the floor, your back is slightly rounded, your abs are working. You want to challenge your balance a little more. Reach back and clasp left hand to right elbow and right hand to left elbow. Lift the fronts of your shoulders. Again, if you have the flexibility, you can bring your hands into prayer position. This is a great stretch for your wrists. If it's impossible to point the fingertips up, you can point your fingers down towards your tailbone. Lift the elbows, keep the chest open. Again, even if your hands are on the ground, bend the elbows and flare them out so that you feel that continued openness through the right below the collarbone. 2 more breaths here. And now place your right hand down, push down through both feet, unravel your spine or ravel it maybe, and open up into a twisting triangle. You can always stand up right up onto the pads of your right toes. If you do have a yoga block or some other kind of prop, please feel free to place a block or any other prop underneath your right hand. Twist open to the left and again explore your range of motion. Please make sure you're not rolling into the outer ankle of your left foot. And check in with how your right knee feels about this twist. We're not twisting from the right knee. We're mobilizing the pelvis and dialing it around and then extending the ribs away from that. Final breath here from the tailbone. Send your breath through the spine and up out of the crown of your head. Exhale, left hand down, step the left leg back. Move through your vinyasa, chaturanga, up dog and down dog. Holding for 5 more rounds. At the end of this next exhale, empty out completely, find Vijnana Bandha. And jump your feet to or through your hands. Come to a seated position this time on your back. You're sitting right in the center, or maybe even a little further, just slightly forward of center. Hands come back behind your thighs and lift out of your lower back here. Then we're going to bring the feet just a little wider than the hips. Push down to the pads of your big toes. Lean back until you feel your abs start to engage. It shouldn't feel that intense yet. You should be able to feel the transverse start to cinch in, okay? So once you feel that cinching feeling, that tightening up, right? Then lift your toe, lift the soles of your feet 2 inches above the floor. So they're just hovering there. You'll notice that the transverse abdominis is toning even more at this point. Now reach past your knees if that's not enough. And then if you still want to go a little further, reach your arms up. Get to a place where the lower core is shaking. Not a whole lot, right? But don't be afraid of the shaking. That's when you definitely know it's working. If you're only feeling hip flexors, maybe keep your feet on the floor. Maybe move the knees further forward so there's not so much bend here. But keep the soles of the feet either hovering or touching the floor. 2 more breaths. Good. On your last inhale, come back up, place the soles of the feet to the mat. Hands back behind your thighs. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, roll your spine down toward the floor. Again, make sure you have that yoga mat behind you before you roll down. Once the back of your head touches the floor, take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the knees in toward your chest and rock side to side.
Keep rocking, keep massaging. And after rocking side to side a few times with the knees in close, move the knees further away from you. So that now we're rocking across a different part of the spine. Just take your arms out to either side of the room so the arms aren't helping you any longer. For right now, try to rock across the lumbar and lower thoracic spine. So even though the knees aren't as close as they were, they're not stacked over the pelvis yet. Good. Now bring the knees just a bit further away so that now they are stacked over the pelvis, and continue to rock side to side. Great job. After doing 2 or 3 rounds of this position and this movement, stack the knees directly over the hips. Thigh bones are perpendicular to the floor. Cross your forearms left over right for right now. And press the hands into the middle of your thighs. Draw the shoulders down away from your ears and take a deep in breath. Exhale, push hands into thighs, and now push your thigh bones back into the pressure your hands are pushing on. Right, so it's that isometric contraction. Push hands into thighs, push your thigh bones back into that pressure. Again, feeling the lower core toning up there. Another exhale to lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Make sure you're not bringing your knees in close. Thigh bones are still perpendicular with the floor. Inhale, shoulder blades rising. Exhale, push, hands into thighs, thighs back into hands, hollow out the belly, draw the navel down. Keep it going. On your inhale, see if you can lift the shoulder blades just another millimeter off of the mat. Exhale, push, hands into thighs, thighs into hands, hollow out. Really, truly tone across the lower abdominals. And slowly release your head while still keeping that contraction going. So don't let go of the contraction, lower your head, but keep pushing. And then once your head is on the floor, uncross your forearms, place the soles of your feet to the floor without overarching your back. With your feet flat to the mat, take an inhale. And as you exhale, scoop the pelvis off of the ground. Again, inhale, sacrum down, your lumbar spine is, so your arms don't have to reach out, I'm just showing you this. We're not overarching the back, right? It's just the lumbar spine that's coming naturally off the floor. And on the exhale, press lumbar down as your sacrum rises off the ground. Last time, sacrum down, small of the back comes up. Exhale, sacrum up as the small of your back presses down. Now inhale the rest of your spine off the floor. So we're going to pull the lumbar, lower thoracic, mid-thoracic, upper thoracic spine off the ground. Reach your arms underneath you and clasp your hands together, or any other variation you'd like to take. Root down to the inner edges of both feet. Make sure that your glutes and hamstrings are activated here. Chin is away from the soft part of the throat, so we're not pressing the cervical spine flat into the mat. Keep the natural curve there. Make sure your arms are pressing into the mat to help you lift off of your shoulder blades. Check in again with your pelvis, right? We're going to tend to forget about the glutes. And once the glutes are not working, we put too much pressure on the lower back. So think of tractioning the top of the pelvis away from the back ribs. Pull the back of your pelvis away from your back ribs with the strength of your legs. We're still here. We're still in bridge pose. If you need to take a break, please do. Make sure if you are in bridge that there's no compromising your spine, right? Keep the legs active. Push the floor away with both feet. One final inhale. And exhale the arms out from underneath you. Roll your spine very, very slowly back down to the mat. Once the pelvis touches down, we're taking an inhale. As you exhale, bring your feet up off the floor, right knee to right armpit this time, left knee to left armpit, wrap your forearms around the outer shins, and with the knees a lot wider than they were before, rock side to side. The knees are moving as close to the armpits right now as possible so that you can feel how we're rocking across the back of the rib cage, even the back of the upper ribs.
But as we did before, we're going to take the arms out now, so keeping your legs wide, rock side to side. Rolling across the lumbar spine now. Keep the legs wide and bring the left shin all the way down to touch, and the right shin all the way down to touch. Do that one more time. Notice how your abs have to work here as well. Now bring your knees over your hips, keep the knees wide, and rock side to side with the legs still wide. Left shin down and back up. Notice the lower torso engaging to make all that happen. Left shin down and right shin down. Once you've done 3 of those, you'll notice your internal obliques are even working there. Come back to where the knees are stacked over the hips. Cross your right forearm over your left, hands to thighs, deep inhale. Exhale, push hands to the thighs, thighs back into hands, hollow out the belly. Point your sit bones towards your knees.
Now, you may have the strength to scoop the pelvis for real off of the floor. So if that's the case, go ahead and scoop that pelvis up. Don't do that if your knees have to come in though, right? So we're not moving the knees in to get the sacrum up. It's a very small lift. The knees will stay over the hips. Then if you want to work it again with the abdominal wall working, lift your head and shoulders up, keep pushing hands into thighs, thighs into hands, hollow out and engage the transverse abdominis. Intend to scoop the pelvis off the floor. So even if the hips aren't lifting, you're sending that message and you'll feel much more tone across the lower abdominals. Keep pushing hands into thighs, thighs into hands, hollow out, scoop the pelvis up, send that message, point your sit bones towards your knees, but keep the knees over the hips. One more inhale, shoulder blades off the floor even more, shoulder blades, even if it's just an intention, send that message. One more exhale, push, hands to the thighs, thighs into hands, hollow out the belly, draw the navel down, scoop the pelvis up, and release the head, but keep the contraction, right? Don't let go of the full contraction. Release the head down. Good, take your arms out and then release your legs down without letting go of that abdominal contraction. Soles of the feet flat to the mat. Take an inhale here. Then exhale with your abdominals, scoop the pelvis off the floor. And inhale, peel your spine off of the mat, once again into bridge. Now, you can stay in bridge, taking your arms underneath you and taking any variation on the arms you like. You can move into a full wheel, sliding your hands underneath your shoulders here and then pressing all the way up into that full back bend. You can lessen the intensity by taking your hands underneath your glutes, but stay in the bridge pose. Just make sure you're not letting your glutes completely sink into your hands, because that'll be a little too much for your wrists. Or you can move into, you can bring your pelvis back down to the floor and move into a fish pose, right? Which is another way to open up the chest, and you can even keep your feet on the floor. So lots of options here. You're gonna be in this back bend for 5 more breaths. So bridge, supported bridge, full wheel, right? Or fish pose. Or any other pose that opens the front of your body up and allows you to feel like you are engaging your back muscles without straining the spine. 2 more breaths. Take a final breath in, expanding your belly toward the ceiling. 1 more strong exhalation. Take your arms out from underneath you and roll the spine very slowly back down to the floor. 1 vertebra at a time to the best of your ability. Once your hips touch, take your in breath. Exhale, keeping your feet sit bone distance apart, draw both knees over to the left, so that you're rolling onto the outer edge of your left foot and the inner edge of your right foot. Stay right here, but engage your right inner thigh. Draw the right inner thigh, right inner knee closer to the ground. Turn your head to look over your right shoulder. And then once you're there, just engage your right glutes a little bit so that you feel that extra stretch on the inner side of the hip, the right hip. Engage your right hamstrings, push your right thigh bone more to the left wall, feeling an increased stretch down the quads. Make sure you're not hitching the right hip up towards your right rib. So the right side of the pelvis is moving away from your right ribs. Slowly release and come back to center. Please move slowly. Good, exhale, both knees over to the right. Again, your knees are wider than your hips. The inner edge of your left foot is down on the floor, outer edge of right foot. Engage left inner thigh to bring left inner knee closer to the ground and turn your head to the front of your left shoulder. Engage left glute to move your left hip bone closer to the right wall. Feel the stretch. Even into those internal obliques a little more. Take a strong inhale, and as you exhale, engage left hamstrings. Push left thigh bone closer to the right wall, increasing the stretch on your left quadriceps. Turn your head even more to the left to increase the stretch on the neck. Make sure that this left hip is not pitching up, so you want to create as much space there between ribs and pelvis as possible. Take a final round of breath here, and remember that the inhale is exploring where the space is, and the exhale is bringing you out again. So we're not trying to push into a deeper twist on the inhale, just the exhale. Slowly, slowly, bring your gaze back up to the sky as you bring the soles of your feet back to neutral, so standing on the floor. Take another inhale here. As you exhale, bring the knees toward each other and walk your feet out to the outer edges of both sides of the mat. So now the knees are kind of caving in on each other. Take your hands to the lower belly. Breathe so deeply that the belly rises and you can push the abdominals into your hands. Exhale, engage the abdominals and press the internal organs down toward the ground. Inhale deeply. Now I want you to think about this breath as stoking your inner fires, right? Helping your metabolism, getting your organs of elimination to breathe with you so that they feel, you might even start to feel or hear digestive sounds, right? But breathe, I'm serious, so deeply that the belly really does expand. There's nothing wrong with letting our belly breathe. There's nothing wrong with feeling fullness in the lower abdominals. It's so, so good for our internal organs. As though you're trying to make room for at least a cantaloupe, if not a watermelon there, right? Really open it up, and then strong engagement, right? To massage the internal organs in the opposite direction. One more breath like that while the knees are just caving in. This is a really phenomenal breath to do right before you have lunch, by the way. You're already telling your body to move into rest and digest mode by taking these at least 5-second inhales, at least 5-second exhales. Now, once you've done a few more of those breaths, we're going to bring the knees away from each other. And one more time, bring the knees into the chest, hands around the shins, forehead up to meet the knees. Inhale, lift the shoulder blades higher, and exhale, bring knees to forehead, forehead to knees. And then release your head, neck, and shoulders down. Extend your legs up to the sky. We're going to take an inversion here to finish off our practice. So if Viparita isn't right for you today, please feel free to do any other inversion of choice. If being upside down is not feeling right for you today, take any other pose of choice or move right into Shavasana. Otherwise, wherever you are at, you can continue to focus your breath in that same way, right? Sending the message to our central nervous system to move us into, if we're not already there, which we probably are, right? But to really flip the switch to rest and digest mode. Even if you're not going to eat right away, right? But just to make sure that you don't enter practice in that fight or flight response. Long, deep inhales, the belly is truly rising. Strong, long exhales, the belly deflates and the abs engage to massage and to squeeze the internal organs. Again, you can hear digestive noises, you can sometimes feel. And you might feel like you get hungrier after that breath. But let's take one more inhale. So wherever you're at in your inversion, whatever inversion you're in, as you exhale, please roll down out of whatever inversion you're in into Viparita Karani. And once you're in Viparita Karani, take another inhale. When you're ready, exhale the legs down to the ground. You may want to do this one leg at a time. You may want to just bend your knees and then place your legs to the ground. But eventually move and make your way into Shavasana. Shaking your body out. Rotating through the wrists and through the ankles or through the shoulders and the hips, whatever you'd like to do to prepare for Shavasana. Turn your head side to side a few times. And then eventually allow yourself to rest. Even the muscles that support your breathing are now allowed to rest. Notice now that the breath is very subtle, that it's easier, of course, for the mind to wander. It's easier for the thoughts to come in and distract us from the present moment. That's why most of the time this pose is referred to as one of the most challenging in yoga, because yoga is not about holding a pose, it's about being present while we're in whatever situation we're in. So for these last few moments of class, let the challenge be that you stay in your body, that you stay with your now very subtle breath. Maybe you look around and find your spine. Maybe you listen to your heartbeat. Maybe you scan the entire body and just look for little pockets of tension that could be released because of the awareness of them. I will leave you here and invite you to rest here for at least 3 or 4 more minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's great to see so many people. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.